Good morning, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning as well to our guest of honor, Minister Josephine Teo. Welcome to the opening ceremony of the 8th ASEAN Ministerial Conference on Cybersecurity. My name is Jamie and I'll be your MC for today, very privileged. We're very glad to be able to continue our conversation with ministers and senior officials from ASEAN member states and ASEAN Dialogue Partners in our efforts to deepen our regional cybersecurity cooperation. Without further ado, let's welcome our guest of honor, Mrs. Josephine Teo, Minister for Communications and Information, Second Minister for Home Affairs, and Minister in charge of Smart Nation and Cybersecurity Singapore, to give her opening address. Minister Teo, please.
My ASEAN Ministerial colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and a very warm welcome to the 8th ASEAN Ministerial Conference on Cybersecurity, or AMCC. I think I should make a small correction. I really don't think of myself as the guest of honor. Our guests are seated on the first row. The guests of honor are on the first row. How about a round of applause for the guests of honor? I'm only the host. It is a real pleasure to address ASEAN colleagues again. Your presence here reaffirms our shared commitment, and I thank you for your support and valuable contributions to the work of the AMCC. I also want to express my appreciation to all our dialogue partners for being here. I was sharing with ASEAN ministerial colleagues that because of the work and the progress that we have been able to achieve in the AMCC, interest from dialogue partners remain very strong, and this is demonstrated by their presence and also their commitment to engage us through the various dialogue sessions that have been planned. The theme for Indonesia's ASEAN Chairmanship this year is ASEAN Matters, Epicentrum of Growth. And we take that to mean that our message to the world is, please remember ASEAN, please take note of the fact that this is where a lot of growth is taking place, and therefore we matter to you. Digitalization and our digital economies will certainly be one key area of growth for ASEAN, and what makes this theme chosen by our Indonesian colleagues a most relevant one. However, we also know that cyber threats and risks pose formidable challenges to our digitalization journey. And so to reap the full benefits of digital developments, we must work together to improve our collective cybersecurity. And for the purpose of our discussion today, I would like to suggest that there are at least two priorities to make progress. The first is the need to strengthen cybersecurity cooperation and resilience regionally. And the second is to support the establishment of a rules-based multilateral order in cyberspace internationally. Let me talk about regional cooperation first. In fact, ASEAN has come a long way since the first AMCC was held in 2016. I'm not sure about you, but certainly I did not have responsibility for cybersecurity then. It is due to our colleagues' excellent work that we have gotten this far. In 2017, we developed the ASEAN Cyber Cooperation Strategy to set out the roadmap for achieving a safe and secure ASEAN cyberspace. To keep pace with a changing landscape, the strategy was updated in 2021, and it is planned that a midterm review shall be conducted in 2024. This makes sense because everything in the digital domain is changing so quickly. When we met last year, none of us have ever heard of ChatGPT. And today you are wondering, did I prepare my speech using ChatGPT, right? I can assure you I did not. Whether my colleagues did, I don't know. Now, these efforts that we have made progress on build on even earlier foundations and complementary initiatives. Since 2006, the ASEAN CERT incident drill, it sounds very scary because it's ACID, which is acid. You know, the ASEAN CERT incident drill, acid is not something that you fool around with, has been led by the Cybersecurity of Singapore, CSA, and has taken place every year, even during COVID. Now, incidentally, ACID 2023 will be held at the sidelines of the SICW. Following the 2020 SolarWinds incident, we also established the ASEAN Computer Emergency Response Team, information sharing mechanism to facilitate timely information exchange. So far, in cybersecurity, coordination and communication among ASEAN member states is going well. We should build on this momentum to advance our cooperation even further. Allow me to propose 3 ways to do this. First, we should strengthen cyber incident response in ASEAN. Cyber threats do not respect borders. I think all of us know that. An attack can quickly spread across the world. It is therefore important for all of our CERTs to work together to quickly share information and warn each other as early as possible. Our pain doesn't need to be our colleagues' pain. Last year, I shared with you our plans to establish the ASEAN Regional CERT. We are currently drafting the operational framework that defines its structures and functions. So that's on the first part. The second is that we should strive to develop standards. As we progress towards building smart cities and also growing the extent of Industry 4.0, adopting baseline technology standards is vital to building confidence among businesses and users. One rapidly growing area is the Internet of Things. It has been estimated that there could be some 50 billion IoT devices in use worldwide in 2030. Some of these IoT devices are already on our bodies. We carry them around every day. Yet, many of these devices are developed without proper cybersecurity features. Why? Because the developers tend to prioritize speed to market and also cost. Even the IoT devices with cybersecurity features can be vulnerable if they are not consistently patched. Imagine if smart home security systems are hacked by burglars, or medical IoT devices are exploited to give incorrect readings. These are very serious challenges that we will have to deal with. And this is why, in Singapore, we introduced the Cybersecurity Labeling Scheme for IoT devices to encourage greater awareness and the development of more secure products. CSA is actively working to establish mutual recognition arrangements with international partners and is developing an international standard, the ISO 27404, to define a cybersecurity labeling framework. The ISO standard will facilitate take-up in more countries. It is heartening to see growing interest in this area. So that's on the second aspect of how we can strengthen the regional cooperation. Third, we should enhance capacity building. As we all know, cybersecurity is a team effort. We value the expertise from all of ASEAN's member states and recognize the need for strong regional ties to better address cross-border cyber incidents. For this reason, Singapore is keen to contribute to regional capacity building efforts. We will continue to take a practical, multidisciplinary, and multi-stakeholder approach and organize our programs through the ASEAN Singapore Cybersecurity Center of Excellence, the ASCCE. Yesterday, at the opening ceremony of SICW, our Deputy Prime Minister Mr. Heng Swee Keat announced that we are extending our funding commitment of $30 million by another 3 years. We are also expanding the ASCCE program with the launch of the SG Cyber Leadership and Alumni Program, which will now include participants from beyond ASEAN. This effort will enrich our programs to address emergent threats and better equip our officers with the expertise to strengthen our cybersecurity posture. It will also help to build strong operational and technical relationships, which will in turn facilitate regional and international cooperation. We look forward to working with ASEAN member states as well as our dialogue partners to develop and deliver these programs. Whilst national and regional efforts are very important, they will not be enough. It is, in fact, in our interest to cooperate internationally to establish a rules-based multilateral order in cyberspace. During the AMCC in 2018, the ASEAN ministers subscribed in principle to the 11 voluntary non-binding norms for responsible state behavior in cyberspace, which were recommended by the 2015 United Nations Group of Government Experts, the UNGGE. ASEAN was the first regional grouping and remains the only regional grouping to make this commitment to the norms. Presently, Malaysia and Singapore, together with other ASEAN member states, are putting together a norms implementation checklist as a non-binding reference for ASEAN member states. This serves to move us forward towards more practical and concrete steps in implementation. These discussions will also take place at the United Nations Open-Ended Working Group on Security of and in the Use of ICTs, which is the OEWG. And Singapore has been honored to chair the OEWG. We thank all of our ASEAN colleagues for your support and look forward to your active participation in the OEWG proceedings. Singapore recognizes the United Nations as an inclusive platform where all countries have a voice. We therefore welcome the adoption of the OEWG's second annual progress report. The discussions leading up to it were not easy, which makes the adoption even more remarkable. Important initiatives such as the Global Points of Contact Directory also are essential in facilitating coordination and communication between member states, especially in times of crisis. Ambassador Burhan Ghaffar, who chairs the OEWG, will be providing further updates later today. So let me conclude my remarks. I believe colleagues will agree that the AMCC's accomplishments are the result of our shared commitment towards maintaining progress and advancing cooperation for a secure and resilient cyberspace. There are immense opportunities presented by digital technologies as well as innovation, but these will only be possible within our countries and benefit our people and businesses if we can take good care of our cybersecurity. Our citizens are counting on us, and I believe if we can meet their expectations, the ASEAN region will indeed be the center of growth, paving the way towards a vibrant, sustainable, and resilient future. I look forward to your active participation at the AMCC, and I wish all of you a pleasant and fruitful time in Singapore. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Teo. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, he couldn't be with us live today, so please turn your attention to the screens for the remarks by the ASEAN Secretary General, Dr. Kao Kim Hon.
Excellency Josephine Teo, Minister for Communications and Information, and Minister in charge of Smart Nation and Cybersecurity of the Republic of Singapore. Excellencies, Ministers from the ASEAN member states, Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. First and foremost, I would like to begin by expressing my sincere appreciation to the government of Singapore for inviting me to deliver these opening remarks at the ASEAN Ministerial Conference on Cybersecurity, AMCC, today. This high-level platform has evolved to be an important forum for ASEAN to engage with multiple stakeholders, exchange views, and share experiences to address cybersecurity issues and advance regional cybersecurity cooperation initiatives in our region and globally. The timing of this event holds particular significance, following closely on the heels of the successful convening of the 43rd ASEAN Summit and related summits. As we look towards 2024, when Lao PDR assumes the ASEAN chairmanship under the guiding theme of enhancing connectivity and resilience, that we will much focus on bolstering connectivity, bridging the development disparities among the ASEAN member states, championing carbon neutrality, and propelling the digital transformation within our region. Working together, we are committed to the pursuit of a digitally enabled economy that is not only secure, but also sustainable and transformative. In 2022, ASEAN emerged stronger with a robust economic growth rate of 5.5%. The region's trade and investment have already surpassed pre-pandemic levels, with $3.8 trillion in total trade in goods and $224.2 billion in foreign direct investment inflows. As a result, the ASEAN economy is expected to grow by 4.7% in 2023 and 4.8% in 2024. Our digital economy is also on the rise, adding $200 billion in gross merchandise value to the region's economy in 2022. With the recent launch of the negotiations for the ASEAN Digital Economy Framework Agreement, DIFA, it is anticipated to double its projected contribution from $1 trillion to up to $2 trillion by 2030. Central to the achievement of economic growth in the digital era is the ability to anticipate and manage cybersecurity threats in all dimensions in order to maintain societal trust in the use of the digital ecosystem. We have witnessed the ongoing evolution of cybercrime, particularly in the form of ransomware attacks, posing severe threats to nearly all industries and sectors. In 2022, cyber threats continue to target critical information infrastructure, which increased by 38% compared to 2021. Additionally, there has been a proliferation of hacktivism by non-state actors in the region and from around the world. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in today's context, our response to cybersecurity threats transcends mere technical concerns, as it encompasses, among others, politics, economics, defense, and law enforcement. And recognizing the complexity of these challenges, the ASEAN leaders in 2018 entrusted the ASEAN Digital Ministers with the mandate to coordinate such efforts across ASEAN's 3 pillars. As ASEAN embarks on a journey to establish a single digital economy under DIFA, coordinating cybersecurity issues across the region becomes so critical to building trust and confidence, particularly among our businesses and consumers in the digital future. I would therefore like to take this opportunity to share 4 key priority areas for cooperation among ASEAN. First, a robust regional mechanism for cybersecurity response is a top priority to build our capability of addressing cross-border cybersecurity threats and incidents. The mechanism should enable timely and mutual assistance in mitigating the impact of cyber threats, with a particular focus on critical information infrastructure. This initiative will build up on progress in the implementation of the ASEAN Cybersecurity Cooperation Strategy, which centers around the full operationalization of the Computer Emergency Response Team, CERT, as the key measure. The ASEAN Regional CERT shall collaborate closely with the national CERT of respective ASEAN member states to chart and undertake coordinated technical responses to any cyber incident in the region. Second, it is critical to work towards an inclusive cybersecurity cooperation framework. The effective cooperation and operation of the regional CERT necessitates active involvement from a broader digital community and experts committed to social progress and prosperity in the digital realm. Thus, we urge our officials to develop a foundational framework that unites all cybersecurity communities on technical and operational levels. This framework should provide an inclusive and equitable mechanism that enables the participation of all stakeholders across the ASEAN member states. We should consider binding commitments in the context of different negotiations to facilitate cross-border investigations and necessary mitigation actions during cyber emergencies. Third, we should continue to enhance our regional capacity building and confidence building efforts. ASEAN must intensify our regional cyber security capacity building initiatives and confidence building measures across all pillars. This security alignment aims to bolster our resilience and enabling us to effectively adapt to evolving challenges and respond to emerging global threats. ASEAN should leverage the existing capacity building resources, including the ASEAN-Japan Cybersecurity Capacity Building Center and the ASEAN-Singapore Cybersecurity Center for Excellence. These coordination efforts must enable the ASEAN member state to interact with our dialogue partners, private sector experts, international organizations, and academia to strengthen our technical capabilities for incident response coordinations. Moving forward, integrating resources in various sectors, such as the ASEAN Cyber Defense Network and the ADMM Cybersecurity and Information Exchange of Excellence, will enhance the effectiveness of the exchange of information, intelligence, information, and expertise, allowing for a deeper understanding and better cooperation to address cyber threats. These efforts will ensure the synergy of ASEAN's ongoing regional initiatives that are aimed at enhancing confidence-building measures, information sharing, and law enforcement collaboration within the framework of the ASEAN Regional Forum, ARF, and the cyber crime component of the SOMTC work programs. Ultimately, this process will reduce fragmentation in our cybersecurity architecture, preventing duplication of efforts, and ensuring the effectiveness of all initiatives. Last but not least, we must promote a cybersecurity culture that educates and empowers our citizens, while also nurturing skilled workforces to meet the growing demand for cybersecurity professionals. A recent study from Stanford University shows that 88% of cybersecurity breaches are caused by human behaviors. Thus, while we should entrust greater responsibility to our cybersecurity professionals and agencies to defend our cyberspace, we also continue to build cybersecurity awareness among our citizens, including the most vulnerable groups in our society. Therefore, this necessitates us to integrate the existing sectoral initiatives in a whole of ASEAN approach in building a digital ecosystem that is safe and secure, especially for women and children. Moreover, we must continue to support the initiatives developed under the ASEAN Task Force on Fake News and the ASEAN Working Group on Anti-Online Scams. Our dedication to sustaining and integrating these efforts is critical in achieving ASEAN's commitment to building a trustworthy and safe online environment for our citizens. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude by underscoring the vital role of establishing a robust and effective regional mechanism. Such a mechanism is crucial in shaping unified regional policies and enhancing our cybersecurity preparedness for the future. By harmonizing these diverse initiatives and fostering collaboration across sectors, we can create a framework that promotes a seamless and cohesive approach to cybersecurity cooperation at the regional level. I am confident that your discussions today will contribute immensely towards this goal. In this spirit, I wish you all a productive and successful meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, ASEAN Secretary General. And it's now my pleasure to invite back on stage Minister Josephine Teo, and like what she mentioned, our guests of honor today, ASEAN ministers and ASEAN heads of delegates, to come on stage right now to take the group photo. Thank you. Okay, Minister Teo and Excellencies, thank you so much for getting on stage so efficiently. We have numerous photographers right now. And of course, we have our very own official photographer who has a request of 2 poses. One, which is what you're doing right now with your hands down. Okay, and now we're going to get you guys to wave with your right hand as well. Thank you. Let's give all the photographers here a few opportunities for more photos. Thank you so much to our official photographer, and thank you to Minister Teo and Your Excellencies. We'd like to invite you right now to kindly take your seats. Thank you. Thank you so much, Your Excellencies. It's never easy taking a group photo, right? We've come to the end of the 8th AMCC opening ceremony. We would now like to invite ASEAN ministers and senior officials to SICWE, which is the Hibiscus Junior Ballroom. And that's where the meeting proceedings will take place. We'd like to invite you to exit through the doors to your left. There'll be ushers as well to lead you there. To the ASEAN Dialogue Partners, we look forward to seeing you again later at 11:10 a.m. I want to say sharp, 11:10 a.m. at that ballroom as well. Have yourself a great day.